What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the first Series 12 official ladder episode of Littleroot Laddering. So today I am playing a team provided to us by a good friend of the channel, Doodlebot. They took this team to 4th out of a 128 player event, I believe. So really excited to try this out. I know this is something that they had been working on for a little bit before, just to get everything situated and together. And there's a lot of things on this team that I'm a big fan of. So to break it down, we're Kyurem-Black plus Kyogre as our restricted pairing. I really love the idea of like Mystic Water Kyogre. You just get to do a ton of damage. I do like the change from like the typical set of like Origin Pulse to Scald, because not only can you like fish for burns on Zacian, but then you're also just not dead in the water to opposing Wide Guard, which is something that like both Kyogre and Groudon can be weak to. And like, you know, we have our Landorus set here as well, which is pretty weak to Wide Guard as well. So just being able to have Scald as a potential like super effective hit into like something like Incineroar on the other side, or Landorus on the other side as well, just means that I really like that change. But the big thing I'm excited for is to play some Kyurem-Black. It's been a very long time since I've got to see this, and even longer since I've played it, I think. So Protect, Dragon Dance, Fusion Bolt, and Icicle Spear. I really like this next to our Amoonguss, so we can have Redirection, so we can get a Dragon Dance up in case of like Intimidate. And then, you know, from there, we're able to just sweep the game. You know, even if we just go to like +1 speed, that's still enough to be able to do a ton of damage into opposing like Incineroar. And because we have Icicle Spear, Landorus isn't going to want to be switching in on us as well. So from there, you know, we have the pieces of support for our team. Of course, you can't have Torn Ogre without the Tornadus. So we have Rain Dance, Tailwind, Hurricane on our Focus Sash Tornadus. Not really surprised by anything there. We also have our Landorus here with Swords Dance, Life Orb, something I've been toying around with here lately. We also, like, personally, I've been playing Lum on Landorus, but I also like the idea of having Lum on Kyurem, so, like, you don't just get put to sleep, or you don't get burnt, or something like that, and then your Kyurem is basically useless. Whereas, here with Landorus, I've also been cutting Earthquake for Protect. I like Swords Dance plus Protect, but I also understand that having that Stab Ground type means that you're a better Dynamax target, because you can get your max Quake boosts, and then you'll be able to bulk up in front of things like Kyogre potentially, and be able to take over games that way. We also have Screens Grimmsnarl with Taunt here as well, and of course we have Spirit Break on that just to be able to do some decent damage into something like Cali Shadow and break, like lower their special attack and such. And then to round out the team, we have Format All-Star Amoonguss with Regenerator, Cobra Berry. Pretty standard set if you want my honest opinion. I've been loving Pollen Puff Amoonguss. I think it's very, like, hot take. I think it's really good and not enough people are playing it. So I'm excited to try that out today. As I mentioned, this is the first day on ladder. So as a result, we're going to be starting at the bottom, because I haven't played on cart since the Invitational in November. So it is a very long time since I've grinded on ladder. So let's see. I don't think. Oh yeah, there we go. So we're going to be starting in Pokeball, which is not nearly as low as I anticipated. But, you know, I'm not anticipating the highest tier of teams today. But normally, you know, the last several weeks I have been recording these live. Unfortunately, I wanted to be able to record this on cart today, so I am not live. Unfortunately, I don't have the Twitch homies with me, but, you know, it's still fine. Hopefully we can still get some pretty decent games in. I'm going to try to play like 5 or 6 with this team and just feel what, you know, what is good before we call it a day. So let's get to game number 1. Okay, so we have Cali Shadow plus Groudon. We have Gastrodon here, which is a pretty big problem for Kyogre. We also have Incin. We have Thundurus on their side, which honestly Kyurem kind of beats up. I actually really like Kyurem here. I think it lands up pretty well against most of their things. I kind of wish we were Assault Vest so that we could do a ton of damage to this Cali Shadow. But I think the idea of just like Tornadus plus Kyurem means that we're going to be able to outspeed their entire team. Yeah, 147 is going to put us to 298 or 294, so that should outspeed everything. That outspeeds Colossals that are aiming to outspeed Venusaurs. So I'm kind of a big fan of just Kyurem plus Tornadus here. I want Kyogre to be able to control the weather if I need to. And I think to round it out, I'm leaning towards Amoonguss, but I also think I could probably use the additional damage output in this game and bring Landorus. I'm not Dynamaxing Landorus. I would just be bringing it really just for, like, support. Well, not really support, but, like, I don't really care for Amoonguss against Sun. And I don't think bringing Grimmsnarl on the back is all that appealing. So, yeah, we'll just bring Landorus here. Try to be a little offensive here and grind through our opponent's advantage here. So, as long as they're not, like, Choice Scarf, Cali Shadow, I think we have a pretty decent matchup. If they are doing, like, if they switch in Instant here, that's something I need to worry about, is, like, Dynamaxing in front of Incineroar as they have it here on the lead. I could just max and try to Hailstorm this Cali to pick up the KO on it. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get to set Tailwind here on turn 1. And I'm afraid that Kyurem's not going to be have enough offensive pressure here to really pressure this Calyrex without Dynamaxing at -1. So I think my play here on turn 1, I could swap to Landorus, but I don't really like that play. I want to get Kyurem out, but I also want to protect this turn. I think, honestly, just protecting, like just double protect here, is pretty okay. This lets us try to figure out what our opponent has going on before we do anything. Okay, no Dynamax from either player. Gonna fire off a couple protects. This could be like a parting shot into my Kyurem as well. There's the fake out into Tornadus as expected, and this is probably just Astral Barrage. Yep. Okay. So now comes to play. I think this is just going to be... See, Astral Barrage is going to be... Icicle Spear is going to be anywhere from 50 to 125 base power. Hailstorm's going to break his Sash on Calyrex, and I think that's pretty important. But man, I really don't want to Dynamax here. I think Fusion Bolt is probably the higher upside play. And we'll go for Tailwind here. Question is are you Scarf? You are not. Okay. I don't think this KOs. Oh, nowhere near it. Well, we might be losing our Kyurem anyway. Not quite able to take a second one. This is probably just Flare Blitz on the Kyurem. Which we do hold on. Okay. I'm going to go for the high upside play and Icicle Spear the Calyrex and go for a Hurricane into it as well. If we can eliminate this Calyrex, I feel pretty good about our position as we miss Hurricane, of course, naturally. 1. I'm going to need about a 5 hit. Yeah, that's unfortunate. They're going to get a double KO here. At least I still have Tailwind up, so I can just click Water Spout and pick up a double here, potentially. Getting double KO'd there is not great for us. I'm not going to lie to y'all, because now they get Dynamax or Calyrex. Yeah, I'm assuming that was a parting shot into my Kyurem. Which I'm surprised they didn't go for last turn. But I also think they probably just anticipated picking up the KO there. Alright, so here's my whale. Here's my cat. I guess you could call that a cat. I think I want to avoid Dynamaxing Kyogre. I think I am going to click Water Spout. And I think I'm going to Swords Dance here. They're probably going to swap Ensign into Gastrodon. Is there anything I can do with that knowledge? I could just click Rock Slide. But I think I really want to get a Swords Dance up before I Dynamax here. Let's do it. This could be Protect plus Swap. I'm assuming this is Gastrodon coming in. Yep. This is all honestly kind of fine. Okay, no Protect is interesting. I wonder if there's Specs. We know they're not Scarf. We know they're not Life Orb. Like, now they have a +1 Gastrodon, which is scary, but at least Calyrex is gone. And, like, I have a currently +2 Landorus. Problem is I'm going to have to deal with this Dynamax Gastrodon at some point. I don't really have a good way of doing so. Like, the fact that we're playing Thunder over Ice Beam means that my Kyogre literally can't touch Gastrodon. What this does mean is I can go for a Quake into the Gastrodon and Protect here. And that will give me a special defense boost into onto my Kyogre, so like it mitigates the damage output of the Gastrodon if they do max. Probably can't live a Hailstorm. Do I want to target down the Gastrodon, or do I want to target down the Ensign and not have to worry about this the rest of the game? And then I have a +1 Landorus. I doubt they have Charizard here. Let's get some damage into Gastro, I think. I'd be very surprised if they don't Dynamax here. Really wish we had Ice Beam currently. But, you know, Giant Cat is still pretty okay. Show me not Dynamax Slug. Okay. There's the Fake Out into Kyogre. This might KO at +1. Okay. Landorus, have you considered how insane you are for us right now? Tailwind is over, but like, I should still have the fastest things on the field. They did actually bring Charizard. Interesting choice to bring 2 fire types into a matchup with Kyogre. I'm going to click this Water Spout button, and I'm going to click Airstream into Charizard, because I think it's more likely to be able to live this. Yeah, opponent sees the writing on the wall. I'm really surprised they didn't bring Groudon in the fight to like try to control the weather, or even Thundurus to try to deal with my Kyogre. So, important thing to note there, Kyurem's damage output when affected by Intimidate is very minuscule, and that's something I need to be aware of. Against matchups where they don't have, like, Incineroar specifically, I think it could be very useful. But, like, we're also talking about one of the most played Pokemon in the format. So, the likelihood of them not having Incineroar is, like, probably a coin flip. As we run into Landorus plus Colossal, I don't see an immediate way for them to trigger Steam Engine. So I don't think that's something I'm really worried about. They don't have Redirection for Xerneas. And they do have this Necrozma with Prism Armor, which is still pretty threatening. I think Screens looks really appealing here. I really like Screens. I kind of want to do Grimmsnarl plus Amoonguss. I feel like that's a really passive lead. But like, I could also just put them to sleep and not have to worry about like potential colossal things. Unfortunately, I am Koba and not Focus Sash. I think that's fine. I really like Kyogre here. Do I want to bring Kyurem on the off chance that they don't bring Landorus? But I feel like they're going to. I also have Taunt on Grimmsnarl, so I can taunt the Xerneas and the Necrozma here. I think I like Kyurem, just because I can deal with the monkey, which threatens my Kyogre a lot. Okay, let's see what we got here, opponent. You know, I've really missed playing on cart. This feels really good. Not that I don't enjoy playing on Showdown, but this has just felt really, really clean. So I'm going to Spore the Necrozma this turn and try to set up a Reflect, I think. They most likely fake out into my Grimmsnarl. That's not the button I want. I want that one. And unfortunately, you know, because Rillaboom is a grass type, I can't Rage Powder like Grassy Glides next turn. And they're going to be faster than my Grimmsnarl, so they're going to be able to get a Grassy Glide off before my Reflect goes up. So that means I probably want to set Light Screen next turn. Dawn Wings looks so cool. I really, really like it as a design. Okay, gonna just fake out my Amoonguss. So going for the taunt probably would have been better. Like, I can't imagine them trying to set up a Trick Room here in front of me. Okay. Their Life Orb. Good, good. This is all really good information. But now my Reflect is up. So now I can set Light Screen. And kind of want to swap here into Kyogre. It's gonna severely dampen the amount of damage that they're able to do. I could also just go into Kyurem. Like, it's a neutral hit on Kyurem, but at the same time, like, what are they gonna do? Switch in Landorus on my Kyurem? Okay, there's the Grassy Glide into Grimmsnarl, but thanks to Reflect, we take that like a champ. Light Screen is now also up. There's a Heat Wave. Okay. So now, like, they get the burn here on Grimmsnarl, but that's kind of whatever. I don't really care about that. Necrozma is faster than Kyurem, so that tells me they're probably Choice Scarf. That's really good information to get. No, I literally know their Life Orb. What am I talking about? I literally know their Life Orb. I don't want to swap to the Whale. I'm going to bring in Amoonguss here. Am I? Do I care about having Grimmsnarl the rest of this game? I don't think so. Screens are up. I'm just going to go for a Taunt into the Necrozma. And we're going to get greedy and go for a Dragon Dance. I want to outspeed this Necrozma. And, like, if I get this off, I feel really far ahead. I could, like, max Lightning into the Necrozma to take away grassy terrain. I'm going to lose my Grimmsnarl, that's fine. Swapping to Amoonguss there is probably the safest play, but... So I'm speed tied with Necrozma, but now I'm going to be faster. I'm going to go for a Moongeist Beam. We have Reflect. We have Light Screen up. We take this like a champ. That is not like a champ, but we did, in fact, take it. So, like, do with that information what you will. But now I have a +1 Kyurem. I'm going to bring in Amoonguss. And I could Pollen Puff my Kyurem this turn. And let's see. They're both 130. I think going for Lightning into... I probably don't want to go for Lightning. Just because they could swap to Landorus. So going for Hailstorm into this slot's probably the safest because they don't want to swap Rillaboom into it. And I bet a +1 Hailstorm takes out Necrozma. Just seeing how much, how fast they are. Gonna bring in P2. Okay. That looks like something that gets hit by a Spore. So here's my big Kyurem. How do you deal with this? The answer is you probably don't. Kyurem behind screens is a real big threat. Especially when I'm at +1/+1. I do cleanly pick up the Necrozma. And I'm gonna get my Pollen Puff off? Oh, this turn's sweet. Yeah, good job, Amoonguss. You did your job really well, buddy. Proud of you. Wonder if they have Ice Beam on P2. I don't think it really matters. This could be them trying to set up Trick Room. But, like, if that's their play, I don't really care. I have an Amoonguss. I have the slowest Pokemon. They have Colossal. Okay, this doesn't immediately threaten me in any meaningful way. I think I want to Spore the Colossal. And I'm going to go for a Hailstorm into the P2 on the off chance that they swap. Yep, there's the Dynamax from Cole. Does Amoonguss outspeed Cole? Probably not. Am I just gonna lose my Amoonguss here? Maybe. But then, like, they have a slow Colossal versus my Kyogre. So, like, I'm not really worried about that. That did a very solid chunk. This Volcalith, which is in fact not a super effective hit into my Amoonguss. So, take a nap? And they're gonna set up Trick Room. Okay. I mean, I feel like this turn went really well. Kinda wish we had Protect on Amoonguss right now. I think I'm gonna swap Amoonguss out this turn. Get a little bit more recovery on it. And then take the P2 out this turn. Volcalith is going to do a non-zero mount, but I don't really care about that. And grassy terrain is now over, so they're re-incentivized to bring out Rillaboom. I could also just stay in. I doubt Pollen Puff picks up the P2, but I want to recover my Kyurem, actually. And we'll Hailstorm the P2 slot. I feel like that Spore is probably the nail in the coffin. Okay. Colossal stays asleep. And they just have Recover. Well, based on the damage the first one did, Recover's not going to be enough. That should be in KO range. Okay. Kyurem has been very good this game, you could say. And they know I have Pollen Puff, so I have a super effective hit into their Rillaboom. And they know it. So, unfortunately, I don't get to take away grassy terrain, which does kind of suck. But I think this is still all just fine. Non-zero chance that Colossal wakes up this turn. But if they do, I don't really care. See, this is going to be 75 versus 90, so this is still just better. And we will protect this turn, anticipating the fake out. Plus, if Cole wakes up, I'm able to avoid it, like a decent chunk here. And then next turn I can go for, like, if Cole does wake up, I can just put it back to sleep next turn because my Amoonguss underspeeds their Colossal. Okay, fake out into the Amoonguss is pretty okay. And Cole stays asleep. Okay. But Amoonguss is going to go down this turn to Rocks. Which is kind of unfortunate. So their Dynamax is now over. I get Rocks and I get Recovery. There's a 50-50 chance that Colossal wakes up this turn. There's also a 100% chance that this Rillaboom goes for a Grassy Glide into my Kyogre. There's a non-zero chance that I live thanks to Reflect. Last turn of Reflect, 2 turns of Trick Room left. I think with this being my last turn of Reflect, I'm going to go for a Scald into the Colossal. And I'm going to go for an Icicle Spear into the Rillaboom. Because what I can do is next turn I can protect my Kyogre. Okay. Oh no. Ancient Power, this is... I think we just lost. Kyurem! Kyurem, you're insane! Bye, Cole. I have to win this turn, otherwise I'm pretty sure I just lose. It's really close! No, it's not. JK. Good job, Kyurem. 3 KOs this game. Absolutely insane. +1 Kyurem is in here doing work. Who knew? When you're not affected by Intimidate, a huge attack stat at +1 is really good. Let's get paired up here for another game. All right, let's see. Groudon, Venusaur, Charizard, Aleki. Yeah, this team really wants to go fast, and I don't like them going fast. I think what that means, I really want Grimmsnarl plus... I kind of want Grimmsnarl plus Landorus up front. This allows me to taunt the Venusaur on the lead. And potentially, like, fly or max Airstream. Airstream's not going to allow me to outspeed the Venusaur the following turn, though. I want Kyurem, because it lines up well against Charizard. Well, it lines up well against Groudon and Venusaur. Like, and Aleki, I guess, to an extent. I really want Landorus for sure. I think this is probably just Kyogre plus Tornadus in the back, though. I don't think Kyurem looks particularly appealing here. Seeing how they have an Incineroar and they have a Zacian, which really doesn't line up well. So I think this is just Tornogre in the back. If they lead Charizard, I can set up Light Screen and Rockfall it. If they lead Venusaur, I can taunt plus Airstream. And then the following turn, go for the Light Screen plus whatever. It's gonna be Zacian and Eliki. Okay. I mean, both of these are weak to Earthquake. So I'm gonna set up a Reflect. I wonder if Eliki is Sash. Based on their team, it probably is, because Life Orb is going to be on the Zard. I could set up Reflect to reduce the damage going into my Landorus, but they also could probably just swap here. I'm not threatened by the Eliki on my Landorus. They could swap into Incineroar, so going for Swords Dance seems pretty appealing. I'm going to make the read that they're going to swap Zacian out. Interesting. How much does this do? Is this going into Grimmsnarl? Because if so, I feel pretty decent. Okay, so I get both my screens up this game. And now I have a Landorus at +2 against 2 Pokemon that are weak to ground. So I'm going to set up Light Screen. I could Airstream, but that doesn't seem very appealing. I want to Quake into the Zacian slot because it's the bigger threat to my Landorus than the Eliki. So this is probably... this could be like Volt Switch plus Behemoth Blade. But behind Reflect, seeing how Grim took it fine, Landorus should also take it fine. And I have a +2 Landorus. Like, this should easily KO the Zacian. Unless they have Substitute. And then we're sad. If they have Substitute on their Zacian, we're sad. Okay, there's a Volt Switch. Grimmsnarl does go down. That's completely fine, though. It did its job this game. I wonder if this is Groudon coming in. It could also be Incineroar, but that would still put me at +1. Okay, here comes the Groudon. Completely fine. I can take away their weather next turn. We also know they're not Life Orb on their Eliki, so that's pretty okay. Why would you play Rough and not just Behemoth Blade? That's way more damage into me. Also, goodbye Zacian. Behemoth Blade just does way more damage there. Because now I have a +1 Landorus behind both screens. I can bring Tornadus out here and set up Tailwind, which is going to allow me to outspeed the Venusaur. Venusaur gets to 278. I need to check my Landorus' speed. Oh yeah, I outspeed. I could also Rain Dance to take away their sun, but I think I would rather just do this. And I think I want to Quake into the Groudon slot. On the off chance that they're Koba. I'm +2. What am I worried about? They're going to Dynamax their Venusaur this turn. What am I worried about? They didn't Dynamax their Venusaur this turn. I'm scared. Don't be Focus Sash. No! Oh, my life is pain. They sleep powdered my... What? Opponent, you know there's a giant cat right there, right? You realize there's a giant cat facing you down. I don't understand that play at all. I'm going to try to wake up. And I think I just want to Earthquake into the Groudon to take away the potential for them to Dynamax it, but seeing how they're +2, they should Dynamax it. So I think actually targeting down the Venusaur is probably correct there. I don't know, maybe. If I take out the Venusaur, then I'm guaranteed... They Dynamax their Venusaur at 1 HP? When I'm outspeeding them. What? This is the weirdest game I've seen in a while. They max guard Venusaur? I don't understand. You have a perfectly healthy Eliki in the back. Why would you not Dynamax it? I don't get it. And now I just click Earthquake and win. This is a weird game. This is a very weird game. But, you know, I'll take it. I'll take the W. I don't understand my opponent Dynamaxing their 1 HP Venusaur. I am literally just awestruck on the, like, I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to say. I would love to look at our opponent's team. I'm assuming it's Magnet on the Eliki then. Yep, okay. Heat Wave's Solar Beam is interesting on Zard. I personally prefer Ancient Power right now, because I think you get a lot of utility against opposing Charizards with Ancient Power. I don't care for close combat. I prefer Sacred Sword there as well. Yeah, this didn't have a way of hitting my Landorus at all. Okay, pretty okay, Ensign. Focus Sash, Venu. And they're not even like... They're modest max special attack, and they went for Sleep Powder. Synthesis is also a choice. There's Citrus Groudon. Max HP, max attack. Better have Swords Dance as well. Why would you not have, like, Speed in this bit? I don't know. Really weird team from our opponent. Honestly, like, the Mons all make sense. The EV choices, I'm skeptical about. Let's get a couple more in. I've enjoyed this team. It's been really enjoyable. I mean, we've got to see, like, every aspect of this team so far. We got to do Kyogre things. We've gotten to do Kyurem things. We got to do Landorus things this past game. I feel like we've checked all the boxes of what this team wanted to do. But let's keep grinding, shall we? So this is the team we played earlier, where we got completely bodied by Kelly Shadow. I think I want Grimmsnarl. I think Grimmsnarl looks really appealing here. And I think I kind of like Landorus. We can live in Astral Barrage, especially behind screens. And this is really bad if they lead Thundurus. But I think I want Kyogre plus Kyurem in the back. I definitely want Kyurem as a way to deal with their Gastrodon, I think. I think I want Landorus and I want Kyogre, Kyurem in the back. I don't think Amoonguss is all that great here. I don't really care for Tornadus. Like, guaranteeing the outspeed is good, but when I have, like, Grimmsnarl on my team, I think that's just better. Like, specifically here, I think I would rather have screens and be able to take extra hits than to just try to outpace them and turbo them into a KO. Especially since I can't just, like, immediately go for, like, a Dynamax on Kyurem-Black. Because they have Incineroar, and there's a non-zero chance that they bring it here. Especially seeing how I have Landorus plus Kyurem-Black. It's going to be Thundy Calyrex. Okay, that's a really good lead from our opponent, unfortunately. Because it pressures me on two different angles here. They're going to be able to outspeed me thanks to Airstream. And they're also going to be able to threaten me a ton because of Calyrex. So, I think my initial thought here is probably set up... They're not Defiant. Oh, this is really tempting. Taunt into Thundurus is really appealing. Problem is they're definitely going to outspeed me, so I'm going to set up Light Screen. And I want to Airstream their Calyrex. Because this will allow my Landorus to outspeed Calyrex the following turn. They don't swap to Incin here, which is like the one thing that this really is threatened by. Opponent, you can't taunt my Grimmsnarl. It's good to know that you have taunt, but unfortunately you can't taunt, you can't prankster dark types in this game. Nice crit, going through my screens and such. There's a reason I set those up and you just completely ignored them. There's your Sash, not really surprised by that. So now what I can do is... I kind of want to Rockfall into their Thundurus this turn and set up Reflect. I want to definitely get Streams up, and I think just trying to pick this up this turn as well. And like this will also, if I get Rockfall off, it'll let me also KO the Calyrex incidentally because of Sandstorm. So I think this plays pretty safe. I outspeed their Mons. They can't Thunder Wave my Landorus, so I'm safe there. I outspeed them. Grimmsnarl might outspeed Thundurus now as well. The fact that they're not Defiant Thundurus on this team gives me a lot of really good information if I face it in the future. And seeing how this is the second time today I've played it, I feel like someone has done well with this team. Alright, Light Screen goes up, Rockfall goes off. This should be a double KO. Okay, there goes the Thundurus. And now Sage is also going to take out Calyrex this turn. They are going to get off another Astral Barrage, but that's pretty okay, as long as they don't crit my Landorus again. Which, even if they do, it's not the end of the world. They don't, so everything's Gucci. Alright, bye Calyrex. I feel very far ahead this game. I outspeed everything they have in the back thanks to the Airstream. And I threaten most of them as well with Landorus, so I feel like we're in a pretty decent position. Okay, here comes the Groudon, not really surprised by that. And there's the Gastro that I'm really scared of, so pretty alright with everything going on. I can just go for a Quake into the Gastrodon. I could also taunt the Gastrodon to prevent like a Yawn. I think that's pretty good. I could take away the Sun from Groudon, but I don't think that's particularly good, so I'm just going to go for a Quake into it. I have both my screens up. I'm not really worried about anything they have going on here. Like, these play patterns that Grimmsnarl plus Landorus provide are, like, pretty common. I'm used to them thanks to the team that Mocha won the Invitational with, you know, involving both Landorus and Grimmsnarl, so Not really surprised to see that that combination's still really good in Series 12. Just gonna try to prevent anything from this Gastrodon. Now, thanks to screens plus a Quake, I might even be able to live an Ice Beam. If this is Swords Dance, it's kind of scary, but not really because they take so much here. There's their Citrus, not really surprised by that as well. Okay, there is the Swords Dance. I debated going for the Taunt into it, but now they just max Groudon, and I'm not really concerned about it. Okay, there is the Ice Beam. Completely fine. Landers did his job this game. I could bring in Kyurem now. Kyurem will outspeed both of their Pokemon, and I can go for an Icicle Spear into the Groudon. And, like, it shouldn't... Gastrodon should be able to deal decent damage here with, like, Earth Power or something. But as long as Kyurem fires off a decent hit here, I should be fine. We'll Spirit Break the Gastrodon. And we'll go for an Icicle Spear into Groudon. They should max Groudon here, right? As opposed to a Gastrodon. But, like, Gastrodon's going to be taking some fat L's here in its special attack, so we should be alright. And this Grimmsnarl is really bulky now, thanks to screens, and we have +1 special defense, and we have +1 speed, so we should be able to easily outspeed both of their Pokemon, most likely. Definitely their Gastrodon. Maybe their Groudon as well. I'm hoping so. Because I don't know if Grimmsnarl can take a hit, like, max Quake from this Groudon. Like, even if we don't, I really just need Kyurem to be able to deal with this Gastrodon in the end game. So maybe going for Icicle Spear into it is better, because Kyogre cleanly answers Groudon. So, like, if this is max Quake into my Kyurem, I feel pretty far behind. It's just Rockfall. Okay. Well, that's also really bad, because now I'm reliant on Grimmsnarl to take out Gastrodon. But I should be able to deal with everything they have going on. And the fact that I have Water Pulse, I have Spirit Break, means that they're just not going to be able to ever gain any special attack boost off of Water Spout here. I can't Scald because of Storm Drain, so I do have to click Water Spout. But at least I'm changing the weather to where I want it to be. How many turns of screens do I have? Quite a few left. Okay. So yeah, we'll go for the Spirit Break, and we will go for the Water Spout here. I don't feel great. I think I should have targeted down this Gastrodon last turn. I think I should have targeted down with Landers as well. This Groudon takes the fat L. I think had I taken out this Groudon, had I taken out the Gastro, this endgame's really easy. But because of that, I had to deal with this Gastrodon somehow. Okay, there's Earth Power. Oh, that did like nothing. So now, Kyogre's job is to not click water attacks. That is its job the rest of this game. I am going to taunt this turn, and we're going to click Thunder, because like we can lose this game if they have like Yawn or Recover. So just keeping this thing taunted means that we don't have to worry about that. See, there we go. I'm really surprised they went for that, seeing how they know I have access to taunt. Like, I think Yawn and Recover are the ways I lose this game. So just preventing my opponent from ever clicking those is the best way to win. Nice crit. It's a really good crit. Now they're at -2. Should be Ice Beam into my Grim to try to get the freeze on it. That's the other way they win this game, I think. Because that'll prevent me from, like, setting up screens again. Which, like, I'm not really worried about. My job is to just prevent this Gastrodon from, like, doing as much damage as it can. And now it's at -3. Nice second crit, Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl came to play. That was a fun match. I definitely made it harder on myself by not targeting down the Gastrodon sooner, but I think that's fine. I think had I gone for the Quake instead, had I gone for the Quake into the Gastrodon instead, I feel like we win that game 100%. Let's see, Life Orb Zard. Yep. Goggles Thundy. Okay. With no way of touching either my Landorus or, like, they have Thunderbolt for Grimmsnarl, but whatever. Shuka Ensign. Really surprised that this didn't come out this game. Then, of course, the lefties that we saw. And they had both Yawn and Recover. So smart. So, consensus on Ice Whale. This team was really, really enjoyable. Like, I feel like we really got to showcase everything that this team was trying to go for. You know, we got to Pollen Puff our Kyurem in that one game. Kyurem got to Dragon Dance once. We got to, like, do Grimmsnarl things multiple times. Landorus was really impressive, having Life Orb to be able to do extra damage. Tornadus plus Kyogre is still really good. You might want to swap Thunder for Ice Beam just so you can deal with Gastrodons better. But, like, you also have Kyurem and Landorus to be able to deal with Gastrodons, so I'm not sure how much you actually need that. But that is something that you could possibly do in the future. Like, just making that one minor change cleans up those end games so much more. But, you know, overall, really, really impressed with this team. Thank you so much for sending this in to us, Doodlebops, and I really look forward to playing some more stuff in the future. And, you know, pretty successful day of Series 12 laddering here today. So, as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next week with some more laddering. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.